The bridal banner is finally here, and I'm very interested to see who's actually on this banner. It looks like an awakening banner, like maybe it's Anna and Flavia. I'm not really sure from the silhouettes. It's kind of a little bit mysterious, to be honest. I actually saw Claude first. I don't know why, but Claude in a dress would have been amazing. I would have been totally down for that. Either way, I'm interested to see what is on this banner and to see if we can get another bridal capture this year, because she is 2 years old now. And yet somehow she is still one of the most meta heroes we have, so. Okay, there's Anna. She's a bow again. Edison's gonna freak out still, though. A green bow cav. Huh. Let's start at the top with her preference open, Heartbreaker bow. Okay, so we have Heartbreaker bow, and this has a few effects. We have Kanto allied too. So we finally get to see the Kantos come back after such a long time. Last time we saw this was in the Thief banner, right? This is the Kanto that Thief Layla had, I believe, where you could teleport to an ally within 2 spaces after, like, you know, either attacking or like breaking a structure or something like that. Then we also have Slaying. We have effect against flying foes. We have all stats up to +10, depending on how many times you've improved her with Dragon Flowers. Once again, like playing up that, you know, whole Anna who loves money and stuff like that, right? Then she gets 15% true damage based off her speed, which does work with AoEs, which is pretty interesting. And then she also has offensive no follow-up. When it comes to fodder, we also have Remote Sparrow and Seal Defense 4, which is really good. And Colorless Feud 3. Oh my god, I just noticed that. Wow, they actually did that. Wow. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because Maria just came out, Fall Maria, and the biggest counter to Fall Maria is Feud 3, right? So they actually put it on a banner directly after, like, hey, you could pull this Anna and fodder her to counter Maria. That's really funny. That's really, really funny. Other than that, she also has Remote Sparrow, which is really, really underrated in my opinion. It's a really powerful A skill, so that's really cool as well to see. But when it comes to her actual bow and her weapon and like her role, obviously she's looking to be a nuke, right? She does a lot of true damage, she can even work with AoEs, she has offensive no follow-up, she just wants to nuke things, right? And then she wants to escape with Kanto. I mean, that's cool. We've seen this before with other units before, right? I don't know if this is going to be like amazing. I think this is like a very solid weapon, don't get me wrong. It has everything she really needs, right? It has the extra damage, it has offensive no follow-up, right? It has all the things she needs to be a solid damage dealer. I don't know if this is going to be enough to like make her stand out in the meta, right? Kanto Ally 2 is very good, don't get me wrong, but it's not as good as like Kanto Recall, the one from Thief Nina, right? So I think this is good. It's a great start. She's going to be obviously very useful in like Aetherite's defense on like a cav line. She can work really well there. Or if you want to do like a hit and run strategy, she can do that as well. I don't think she's going to be good enough to really be seen in summoner duels on the highest competitive levels. I'm sure you could use her though, don't get me wrong. You could use her like SDS and make her work. And I think she is a very competent nuke. I just don't know if she's going to be like a top tier nuke, to be honest. She has a lot of things there though. She just is missing like piercing damage reduction, right? You'd have to like switch her over to Deadeye, and then as a cav, she doesn't really have a way to get down to one cooldown because she doesn't have access to time spools. But other than that, I think she's a pretty solid unit. I'm excited to see where she shows up at. And I'm sure Fedison is absolutely ecstatic. Okay, next up is I did not expect Sayri as or Sayri, however you want to pronounce it, as a bride. She's a Lance Flyer this time. We're going full awakening, it looks like. Okay, so we have a new preference seal and a new C slot as well. New rating, it looks like. Wow, crazy. So you have Chonsin Sprig. And essentially what this has, it has Slaying, it has +5 to all stats. She also inflicts a penalty on the foe's speed and defense equal to 25% of their attack, which is pretty interesting. With a max of 10, which is a lot of stats, she reduces damage from foe's first attack by 40%, and she gets special cooldown charge +1 per attack. Okay, this is interesting. I don't know how good this really is. Like, I mean, getting a ton of free speed and attack, essentially, right, is very good. And you're going to be able to get probably 10 pretty easily, as you don't need to have that much attack to actually have that proc. But I just don't see exactly where she's going to be used at, right? Because she isn't really, like, she, like, looks like she wants to be a god sword, but she's a flyer. So she has, like, bow weakness, which is a very big, like, downside, right? And then also she has the cooldown charge +1, which would be really good with, like, something like Godlike Reflexes, so she could recharge it really easily. But she doesn't have access to that. So I'm not sure where this unit will be used, if I'm being completely honest, right? I don't see like a good place for it. Let's check out SD Rain Snap and see how well that works. Okay, so essentially what this does is it does the normal rain effect where you get -4 speed and defense on the foes within 2 spaces. So but at the same time, if she's in the range of a melee armor or an infantry unit, she actually gives herself extra movement and them as well. This is really cool. I like this a lot. And essentially it gives a way for it to have even more support effects in the C slot for flyers. Now the thing is this better than Guidance 4, right? No, it's not even close. Guidance 4 is way better than this. Like, it's more universal, it gives offensive no follow-up, right? The thing is that this does allow like you to have more stats for that unit. So if you're a more combative like flyer, this is a really good way to get some combat stats while also supporting your team. I can see this being good on a lot of like units like that, right? Like Ingrid, even rearmed Ingrid, even Altina could use this to an extent. You would probably want AD Rain Snap instead, but it's not like unusable. And what this can really do is give that extra movement to your units that could help a ton, especially in game modes like SD where the opening is such a big impact on the whole game. Having 3 movements on your melee infantries and 2 on your armored is really, really big, and 3 on your flyers. Like, this is actually kind of insanely good, I think. I don't think it's as good as Guidance 4, because Guidance 4 is just completely and utterly broken, but I think it's like one step below that, and I think it really does offer a lot of solid support, but also offering enough power for the unit to like actually not like hurt their own combat. I think this is good. I think like that skill is more valuable than her as a unit, in my opinion. When it comes to her roles and her game modes, I don't really see much for her, right? If I'm being a little bit honest, you can make her a Gale Forcer, right? She could be really good at that. She has Slaying and she has the cooldown charge, so she can Gale Force pretty easily. But other than that, there's really not much else to say home. Like, I don't really think that I would even choose her as like my first choice as Gale Forcer ever. There are just other units who do it better, in my opinion. So kind of disappointing a little bit, but I do like the fodder a lot. I think this is a really cool, unique C skill. I could see this being used in a ton of game modes. Just having 3 movement all the time is really, really strong. Okay, who's the demote? Flavia is the demote. So it was Flavia. Of course, they had to make Flavia the demote. Her art looks so good, though. Oh my gosh, she looks gorgeous. Wow. Wow, she looks really good. That art is insane. Another sword calf. There it is. Yes. Okay, this is really good. So we have Bridal Blade Plus. That doesn't really matter. It's an inheritable sword, right? If Harsh Command Plus is like decent fodder, the real thing I'm really excited about is Attack Defense Class 3. That is insane. What this is essentially going to allow us to do is like make better use of our rearmed Lith fodder, right? We can be able to get the sword and Attack Defense Class 4 on it. So I'm very excited for that. Great far. Glad to see it in even the special summoning pool, even though it's not in the permanent one, obviously. But still, very good to see this. Hopefully we get more of this kind of stuff, right? We just need as many of these 3 skills, of these newer skills, so we can inherit more properly, right? We can get more value from our fodder. So glad to see this. And her art looks really good, right? I'm sure this will be a decent unit, just based off her stat line if you give her a rearmed weapon. But she's also in a very competitive... No. 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 I'm so done. I'm so done. I'm so angry. I'm so angry right now. You've gotta be kidding me. I'm like actually annoyed. Why does Tiki get 1,000,000 ults? I get that this is, I assume this is adult Tiki. If this is not adult Tiki, I'm gonna be more livid. We're gonna be like, I'm gonna like have a re moment where I just outrage. But even so, we just got Brave Tiki last year. We got Ascended Tiki right after that. Like, do we really need more Tikis? We even have a duo Tiki already, or we have a harmonized Tiki with Ninian. Like, why do we need more Tikis? I'm actually... Okay, it is adult Tiki at least. At least there's that. But I'm so annoyed still. I don't like this at all. Oh, I don't like this. I wish it was somebody else. Like, it could have been Lucina. It could have been Vike. I don't know. Why would it be Vike? Who cares? It could have been Vike. I'm so tired of Tiki. I'm like so tired of seeing her. Okay, so we have Twin Divine Stone, and what this essentially does is you get effective against dragons, you get +5 to all stats, you heal 7 HP after combat, and then if you win a res check, you also get a guaranteed follow-up attack and Dragon Wall. And then once again after that, if you win a res check of 5, you get the glare effect, and you get special cooldown count -1 to unit before foe surges attack, and then she gets adaptive damage. So there's a lot of effects going on here. This is a ton of effects, and I'm sure it's going to be very powerful, right? Just getting a ton of stats, you're getting the healing, you're getting damage reduction, you're getting guaranteed follow-up attack, which probably tells me she's going to be pretty slow. Glare is really, really, really strong, right? We've seen how good this can be, and on armors, it's even better because it means you don't necessarily have to use something like Hardy Fighter. You can use a different B skill, which is really cool as well. And then she can even accelerate her own special, so she can get into those bigger specials. And as you can see, she has Armored Flow, which is a new B skill for armors. I'm assuming this is inheritable. It's 3 cooldown. So you get boost special damage by 40% of units res. If foe's range equals 2 and unit or foe special is ready or triggered before or during this combat, reduces damage from foe's next attack by 40% once per combat, excluding AoEs. So essentially what this is just Armored Beacon, but based off resistance. I mean, Armored Beacon's really, really good, right? Armored Beacon's like amazing. So getting Armored Flow, with just the difference being resistance, is going to be awesome as well. Really, really powerful skill. Mirror Stance 3, nice, is going to just completely lock enemies out of their specials in most situations, right? Because you can glare them out of their pre-charged ones, and then Mirror Stance will give you guard. So let's say you have anti-guard, they're not really going to be proccing specials on you. She also has the Preference B skill from Brave Tiki, which is New Divinity, which is a pretty solid one. You're getting some stats as well as another layer of Dragon Wall, and also Follow-Up Denial. Okay, so here's our Harmonized skill. We get Resonant Shield, neutralizes foes' bonuses during combat, and neutralizes units' penalties during combat to unit and allies from the same tile as unit for 1 turn. And it can be reused. This is an okay harmonic skill. It's not really that great in my opinion, right? She already denies follow-up, so like Resonant Shield's just some extra stats, which isn't bad. And then neutralizing the foe's bonuses and neutralizing your penalties is good, but it's not really the harmonic skill you want to proc, right? Like when are you going to actually use this? In Ether Rage, you realistically won't get to use this, right? You're going to get it blocked out by the enemy's structures. And then in SD, do you really want to be proccing this very often? I mean, you could use it to stall like every other harmonic skill, but it doesn't really do anything like immediately powerful. So I don't think this is that great, to be honest. But when it comes to rolls, what does this unit gonna want to do? Obviously, this unit wants to far save, right? Like that's the most like obvious thing ever. You're gonna put distant counter seal on her, and then she's just gonna far save. The cool thing is, I think, is that this is essentially what Brave Tiki wanted to do. I think the problem with Brave Tiki is that when she came out, she was an infantry unit already, and she really was built to be an armor unit. Like her kit just worked better as an armor unit. So now that we have essentially armored Brave Tiki, I think this is going to be a great far save unit. She's going to do a great job. She has all the effects that you really want on a far save pretty much. The only thing you could maybe argue is that she is slow, which means it's going to be pretty easy to get through her with like offensive no follow-up. But even so, like she's going to be able to lock out specials pretty easily with the combination of guard from Mirror Stance and then her own glare effect. She has a ton of damage reduction, right, from the built-in inner weapon and in her Preference B skill. And Armored Flow even gives a way for her to ignore damage reduction piercing specials like Deadeye or Lethality. So, I mean, honestly, this is going to be a very, very powerful far save unit. Now, when it comes to game modes, obviously she's going to be fantastic in things like Ether Raid's offense. I can even see her being really strong in Ether Raid's defense as well, and I'm sure she'll work well in Summoner Duels also. The one thing I will say that is a big downside for me is that harmonic skill. I just don't think it's all that powerful. It's just not something insane, like let's say like Duo Dumas, who can just like recover all the HP after getting smacked really hard. It's something you're going to want to pop before you actually get engaged on, right? So you can neutralize those penalties and also make sure you just don't get exploded. I think this unit's going to be great. My biggest problem with it is just that we already have so many far saves in the game. Like, even if this is the best far save in the entire game, which I'm not really sure she is, like, do you really want to reinvest all of your stuff into a new far save just because they're slightly better? I'm going to say no unless you're a massive Tiki fan. If you're a massive Tiki fan, then sure, why not, right? It's your favorite. But other than that, I'm just not really sold on it. Okay, the final thing we have to check, of course, is the free unit. And it seems we are getting a male Robin on a horse. A red mage male Robin on the horse. How do I feel about this? I want to be honest, I'm not the happiest. Like, I understand that male Robin fans are probably freaking out and they're super happy. But we just got legendary male Robin. We're guaranteed to get brave male Robin in like 3 months or something like that. And now we're getting a free male Robin as well. Like, jeez, that's like such an overload. Like, couldn't they have put somebody else there? There's so many other characters in Awakening that would have been amazing to put there. Okay, let's move on to the final question. Should you pull? Now, this banner does have some really cool stuff in it, right? We have a very powerful new far save. That's a really great option, who has a ton of defensive effects you want. We have Anna with remote Sparrow fodder, which is really good. And most importantly, in my opinion, is Sayri with that new SD fodder. That new rain fodder is really powerful, and I think it's going to open up some really creative plays, especially for things like Summoner Duels, or even like Gale Force comps. Being able to grant yourself extra movement every turn, and your allies, even with the limitations like placed on it, like right, it only works with melee, infantry, and armors, it's still really, really strong. So I think that's a really good fodder. And then lastly, Flavia. I think, attack defense clash fodder is nice, but it's not necessarily a reason you want to pull on this banner. When it comes to other reasons not to pull, in my opinion, right, we do have summer coming up, and summer tends to be a very explosive time in Fae. We get double summer banners, and usually one of the units on those 2 banners are broken in some way, right? Like last year, we got 3 houses summer, which was insane. That whole banner was extremely highly valuable. And then after that, we got summer Duo Thor, right? Who just kind of broke SD for a while, and still is probably the best unit in SD at the moment. So like, do you really want to spend all your orbs here? I mean, if you're a Giant Awakening fan, definitely. But if not, then maybe you want to save. Other things to look forward to, of course, are the Legendary Mythic banner at the end of the month, and the possible, very slim chance we get an Engage banner sometime soon. I feel like I'm just inhaling copium like every time a banner comes out now, because we just haven't gotten an Engage in such a long time, and it's just blowing my mind. Like, I feel like we have to get a full summer of Engage. If we don't, I just don't know what's going on. Personally, I think this banner is a bit of a skip. You could probably skip it pretty easily, and you wouldn't be missing out on much. I don't think any of these units are going to be like meta breaking. I do think Tiki has a very good chance of being one of the best far saves in the game, but even so, I don't think it's such a giant gap that you need to summon her by any means. But now I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of these banners? Are these your favorite characters? Maybe you're like Fedison and you're extremely happy to see Anna. Or maybe you're a giant Tiki fan and you don't care that I'm angry about Tiki. You're super happy that she finally got another alt, even though it's been less than a year. Either way, I'd love to hear from you, so make sure to drop a comment down below, letting me know exactly what you think of this banner and if you're going to be pulling. Once again, I'd love to thank my members for all their support. These videos wouldn't be possible without them. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. This has been Oblivion. I'll catch you all later.